Hi all, I'm Avi, and I'm in love. Yes, I know everyone falls in love at 14, but I didn't just fall in love. I had a crush on my best friend's boyfriend. I don't know what to do, so I decided to tell my story to you. Maybe you can help. I've always had a hard time with building friendships. I don't really trust people, and I'm not very good at making new friends. In junior high school, I didn't really have girlfriends. But in middle school, a new girl, Kira, came to our class and somehow we started communicating right away. Probably it was because it was hard for her too. New school and people. And I could see that she wasn't comfortable. Neither was I. One day, we bumped into each other in the toilet, and from that day on, we became friends. Kira told me that her parents got divorced and she and her mom moved to the neighborhood. Her mom was working late, and we used to hang out at Kira's place. We did homework together, watched TV, and liked to watch the neighbors. Dad gave Kira a telescope, and it was so interesting to sit by the window and see what people across the street were doing. And one day, we saw something that turned our lives upside down. I wish we hadn't looked through that spyglass that day. I'll tell you what happened next in a minute. But for now, please subscribe to this channel and click on the bell. There are many more interesting stories to come. So that day, while watching the neighbors, we saw a black Jeep pull up to the house across the street first, followed by a large van. New residents were coming in. They started unloading boxes and furniture from the van. And out of the Jeep jumped out a guy who was the same age as Kira and me, and started looking around. Suddenly, he was striding resolutely toward Kira's house. Avi, he's coming this way. What to do? Kira fidgeted. I was nervous too, but it didn't take long before there was a knock on the door. Liam was the guy's name. He and his family moved here because his dad got transferred for work. Liam will be going to our school, but he's 1 grade older. This information the guy gave us in a couple of seconds as soon as Kira and I opened the front door. You know, there are some people who are quick to make friendships. They're usually in a good mood, and they're always fun to be with. Liam was like that. And the three of us became friends. But after a couple of days, I started noticing that Liam was spending more and more time at Kira's house. He needed to screw in a shelf and didn't have the right screwdriver. Then, he forgot the key to the house, and his parents were not home. He constantly found excuses to come visit her. I stopped coming to visit Kira. I felt superfluous. And at school, Kira talked about Liam all the time. How cool he was, and funny, and smart. I couldn't stand it anymore and grumbled. Kira, do you have a crush on him? My friend blushed and lowered her eyes. It all became clear to me. After that, I distanced myself from Kira. We used to have our own little world. Secrets, we shared our dreams, we shared everything. And now Kira chose Liam over me, and I shut myself away. One evening, walking around, I accidentally wandered into a movie theater. It was the week of the author of films, and I really love unusual movies. So I did not hesitate to buy a ticket and sat in an almost empty room. The lights were turned off. The film started, and suddenly someone pushed me with his elbows and leaned over me, whispered in my ear, "Please, forgive me." It was like I was struck by lightning. The scent, so familiar. "Liam?" I exclaimed. And it was really him. Liam was as surprised as I was. It turned out that Kira was sick and couldn't go out to the movies. Liam is also a fan of amateur movies, and today was the last day to get to watch that movie. So here he is. Liam sat down next to me, and we started watching the movie. We whispered with him the whole session, discussing the scenes. Liam was a very interesting person to talk to and an avid moviegoer. I was amazed. After the movie, he walked me home, and when we parted, he gently squeezed my hand, saying we had a great time. And he smiled. Something clicked inside. And I looked at Liam with different eyes. Without Kira, he was more relaxed and attractive at the same time. To me, I'd spent the whole night replaying our meeting. The conversation at the movie theater in my head So his fun and jokes were for Kira? To impress her? And the truth is, Liam is very much like me. And I could see that he was interested in me too. I'd like to get to know this guy better. But Kira, she's in love with him. And she's my best friend. But I'm entitled to happiness too. Am I any worse than Kira? But would I sacrifice my friendship for a guy? What would you do? Write to me. I really need your support right now. I'm Chloe. I'm 15, and I'm very disappointed in my parents. A couple of weeks ago, I started dating a guy. His name is Tom, and he's the star of his high school basketball team. And I met him completely by accident. We have a music class at school, and I sing there. One day, during rehearsal, my teacher suggested that I sing a song with accompaniment. And then, Tom came into the music class. It turned out that he also plays the piano brilliantly. And we immediately hit it off. After class, we, like old friends, chatted merrily on the way home, and Tom suggested we hang out one day and write music together. So we started hanging out. We hung out in music class for a long time and laughed. Until one day, Tom gave me a goodbye hug a little tighter than usual and whispered that he really liked me. Butterflies fluttered in my stomach. I felt the same way about him. And we started dating. I was very proud of Tom. He excelled in his studies, played the piano brilliantly, and was a basketball star. Our relationship grew stronger every day, and I flew on the wings of happiness. My parents had long noticed that I was seeing someone. I was still hesitant to introduce Tom to them, until my mom suggested it. Invite your boyfriend to dinner. I'll cook something delicious. I was looking forward to a nice family evening. But things turned out very differently. Before I continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And make sure you have clicked on the bell. Then you'll know when there's a new video coming out on the channel. That evening, I helped my mom before dinner. I cleaned, washed the floor, set the table. Dad was watching football and was quiet. I could tell he was a little nervous about the meeting too. Tom arrived at 7 o'clock sharp, as arranged. I ran to open the door. And then I took him by the hand into the living room and introduced him to my parents. Meet Tom! Dad smiled and held out his hand to Tom. And Mom could barely hide her disappointment. She looked at Tom silently, raising her left eyebrow, and that expression did not bode well. Mom silently pointed to the table, and we sat down to dinner. Somehow the conversation did not stick, and then my mother said in an icy voice, "I did not know that my daughter likes those guys." I caught her ironic look. No way, I thought. Is my mom really talking about the color of his skin? And my mom wouldn't let up. I hope you know how to use all the cutlery that's on the table, Tom. Mom! I interrupted her sharply. Tom went pale. I felt so ashamed. Everyone ate in silence, and Mom, crossing her arms on the table, continued to stare at Tom. You must be very happy to be dating a girl like Chloe. Usually guys from, your circle go out with girls of the same color. I saw Tom clench his teeth, and tears glisten in his eyes. Stop it! Shut up! Dad got up from the table so sharply that his chair flipped over. Don't you dare say that again. You were an immigrant yourself once, and you know how hard it is. Mom ran out of the room, and I grabbed his hand and whispered, "Let's get out of here." We walked until late at night. Tom was talking about his family, and I understood immediately that his family is wonderful, and I was sure I would be warmly welcomed there. And when I got home, my dad and Mom were waiting for me in the kitchen. Mom's eyes were red with tears, and Dad was pacing around the table. "I'm so ashamed, Chloe, that I acted that way with Tom. I'll make it up to you. I will." "Chloe, your mom had a tough childhood. Her family came here from Mexico in hopes for a better life. She was humiliated too, but that doesn't excuse her behavior today." "You really hurt Tom. And me. I love him very much. And you were racist. I don't want to live with you under the same roof anymore." While Mom and Dad stood there shocked, I quickly packed my suitcase, called a cab, and left for Grandma's house. It's been a week now. I live at my grandmother's house. Tom and I are doing fine. Mom has come to make up a couple of times, but I can't yet. What do you think I should do? Forgive my mom? What would you do? Please write. I'm looking forward to your thoughts.